Going live. Excellent. We are live. Hey.
All right, hello.
Tonight we are playing Don't Rest Your Head. A campaign, or a tabletop RPG that we are using Tabletop Simulator to play. I am playing music by David Feslian in the background when the music player is working. And let's see. We are playing the campaign entitled The Sandcastle Man. So, before the stream started, we already worked out a little bit about Corey's character. My friends Corey and Lindsay are both playing. Hi, guys.
Hello.
Corey is playing Jonathan, a cancer researcher. In answer to what's been keeping you awake, he wrote, "I'm on the brink of a discovery." We'll come back to what just happened to you. What's on the surface is a nerd in a lab coat. So that is people's first impression and understanding of Jonathan. A nerd in a lab coat. What lies beneath? Conspiracy nut. So he believes in many conspiracies. And what else? His goal, or his path, I need to discover the truth, even if it isn't comfortable. And we talked a little bit about what that means, which may or may not come directly to the fore during the game. However, that's important for his character to know. Starting the game, you have full discipline, no permanent madness, and no current exhaustion. Your responses that you've marked out, you've blocked out 1 fight and 2 flight, leaving you with 2 fight options and 1 flight option.
Oh, I actually meant to flip. That's meant to be flipped. I've already fixed it on mine, so.
Oh, you fixed it on yours.
Yeah.
Okay. So he has some rage in him, but he's far more likely to run away.
Yes.
Got it. Okay. Now. Oh yes, and importantly, his exhaustion talent is research. So he is amazing at doing research. Truly a world-class researcher. And I think research. I think he's just good at research. He knows how to do that. It doesn't have to be cancer research.
If there's information out there, he knows how to find it.
But like in a research way, like.
Yeah. Like going to the library, searching the internet, those kinds of things.
Right. Okay. Now, Lindsay's character. Oh, and his madness power. Corey shared a dream, a nightmare that he's had in real life about weeping angels. And I think that is a fantastic basis for madness talent. So he has talents that either affect others or himself, like a weeping angel from Doctor Who. So that is awesome. Okay, so that's all about Jonathan. Let's talk about Lindsay's character. Lindsay's character's name is Ren. She's a librarian. Affiliation, we don't know. Oh, yes. I asked you guys if we could skip over the whole meeting each other. Like, somehow you know each other.
I have an idea of how we know each other.
Hit me.
Well, if I'm a librarian and he's a superstar researcher.
I'm guessing I frequent the library a decent amount.
Yes.
All right, it happens to be that library. Excellent. Okay, so you know Jonathan at least well enough to know that he is a nerd in a lab coat. Maybe he even goes to the library, like his day-to-day life. Maybe would he wear his lab coat to the library?
Maybe. If it was a particularly busy day.
Mm-hmm. So you've seen that happen. Wren.
Yep.
Wren is her name. Wren, like the bird.
Yes.
All right. So, what else? We'll come back to what just happened to you.
Mm-hmm.
What lies beneath? Now, you wrote a novel here, which is great. She loves books, detached from everyday life, fascinated by the idea of portals to alternative realities, repeated dreams of Laguz, the flooded city. Enjoyed escaping there in her dreams until she swam too deep and found 1,000 eyes under the cityscape. After waking up abruptly, moments before being swallowed by its wider-than-the-horizon jaws, she has become an insomniac, terrified of returning to Laguz and the waiting 1,000 eyes. And she is scouring the mad city for a way to close the doors of the alternative realities forever, convinced this will save herself as well as the rest of her reality. What's your path? She is seeking a way to close doors between realities, preventing inter-reality travel. She has heard stories of a timeless, all-knowing sage in the Mad City known as Jophiel.
Mm-hmm.
That's specific. She seeks them out. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. I like that you really laid that out clearly.
Figured to give you some hooks.
Very nice. You're laying yourself your own breadcrumbs, which is great.
Now, some things I haven't given you yet. So responses. I didn't give you fight or flight, so I'm thinking my fight is a 1 and my flight's a 2.
Okay.
For my exhaust. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. So, I just want to make sure. Meaning those are the open slots. Open boxes, not filled-in boxes.
Oh, sorry. My filled-in boxes, I've got 1 filled in for fight, 2 filled in for flight.
So there's 2 available for fight.
That's correct. Oops. So sorry. So if I want to be more flight,
yes, you
I will make those open. I see.
You're giving up 3 slots.
Got it. Got it. So I will have 1 slot open for fight, 2 for flight.
Okay. Okay. So she's also a little more likely to run away than she is to fly into an uncontrollable rage.
Yes.
Okay. Interesting. Okay, now, what about her talents? Because we don't want to do an exhaustion talent that's the same as, or too similar to Jonathan's.
Yeah. And initially I was thinking eidetic memory. So I was thinking that she'd be very able to recall information that she learned at her local library. But I'm thinking that might be really similar to research. On the other hand, if she just had an eidetic memory in general, that it wasn't related necessarily to information she was bringing to the situation, but maybe, things that she's seeing in the Mad City, that could still be appropriate. I don't know if you feel like it would make sense.
You know what? Let's roll with it.
All right.
Who knows? You guys are 2 of a kind. Why not? This isn't a tactical strategy game. It doesn't actually. It might not actually matter at all if your guys' abilities have crossover. In fact, it might work out better. Who knows?
Got it. Well, let's give it a shot.
All right. So, she has her exhaustion talent is her memory.
Yes.
Okay. Interesting.
And then her madness talent. This actually ties in with what lies beneath. So one of the things that you didn't cover was that she actually has a phobia of water. So she's convinced that deep enough water could bring her back to Laguz. So she avoids water. But her madness talent is flood. So I was thinking that when she goes mad, water could suddenly come out of nowhere, whether it's a storm, whether it's just water creeping out of sewer grates, whatever it is. Water and potentially deluge could come. Yeah.
So the way madness power works in my version of Don't Rest Your Head is you can essentially do anything. Literally. However, your madness talent, so just like your exhaustion talent, you can do anything physical, right? But you're really, really good at remembering things. Your madness talent, you can do anything, but you have a particular talent for the flood from your dream, from your nightmare. And so for example, and the more madness dice you throw at a roll, the more powerful and more focused. Your madness talent essentially lets you focus your madness from staying awake for so long. And the larger and crazier and more powerful of an effect you can generate. So
got it.
So one madness, you might cause there to be a puddle that someone chasing you might slip on. 3 madness might cause a ruptured water main to flood through the apartment that you're in and just wash everything out of it in an unstoppable torrent.
Got it.
And remember, you can throw up to 6 madness dice at a roll.
Got it. Okay.
So that gives you some idea of the scale. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Let's begin. Are you happy with that? Are you happy with that power?
Yeah, I think it'll be fun for my first playthrough of the game.
You know what? Let's say, and 6 madness dice, 1,000 eyes emerges
I don't like that.
from a rupture in the ground, and a geyser tears through the surroundings.
This is when I say 1,000 eyes actually is from a real nightmare.
Exactly. Exactly. All right. Okay, guys. You've... anything else before we get started? I should check.
I don't think so, other than I'll need some review of the mechanics for sure, but
Don't worry.
yeah.
I'm good to go.
Great. Okay. You've been living your lives, Jonathan, Wren. One of you is a cancer researcher on the brink of a discovery. The other, a librarian with a strange phobia and obsession. At some point, whether because of a dream or because of a discovery, it began. You can't sleep. It started like that for all of us, back when we were garden variety insomniacs. Maybe you had nightmares. God knows we all do now. Or maybe you just had problems that wouldn't let you sleep. But then something clicked. That was when you took a long walk down the streets of the mad city, stopped being a sleeper, and started being awake. But that click you heard was the sound of the nightmares becoming aware of you. Now you're one of the awake. There's just one simple rule that must dominate your life. Stay awake. Don't rest your head. Guess what? In most horror games, you begin with something out of your control. Not so here. You have all the power. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Jonathan. Limber up. Stretch your brain. Jonathan, you have the power of the Game Master right now. You will get to narrate what has happened. And this is when I need your answer to. What just happened to you? And I do request that at the end of this scene, you fall asleep.
Okay. Well, Jonathan was at his research lab. He was staying late, as he usually does, because time doesn't really mean nearly as much to him as it once did. And he's been trying to puzzle out this latest set of notes that he's found that he doesn't remember writing, but they seem to indicate some kind of cure that he's already discovered, even though he doesn't remember discovering it. And the notes don't say much aside from the fact that there's something weird about this cure, and it's unclear what is weird about it, except that it might have something to do with the Mad City. But before he can delve too deeply into the problem, the lights of the research facility all go out all at once, and the emergency generator does not kick on. Now, Jonathan naturally is freaked the hell out by this, and he kind of realizes that he might, or that this discovery that he's made, he might not be the only person who knows about it, and somebody might be trying to keep the secret that Jonathan doesn't even really know. So Jonathan tries to get out of the building, but it's a little hard for him to find his way, because even his cell phone's flashlight doesn't work. His cell phone doesn't seem to be working. All of the electricity in the building is out. And so on his way out, he trips over something and hits his head badly enough that he can't pick himself back up, and so he falls asleep.
Trips, hits his head in the dark. And with the exhaustion, just loses consciousness. Interesting. All right. You find, as you're losing consciousness, something tugging at your mind. It hurts. I will be rolling 1 pain. So, you may roll your 3 discipline dice. And you may use madness and possibly exhaustion dice as you wish. But you have to declare it now.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go ahead and take 1 exhaustion. I'll add that.
All right, so you're going to intentionally add 1 exhaustion. When you intentionally increase your exhaustion, that lets you...
It just adds 1 of the black dice to my pool, right?
You can either... yes, but you can make major use of an exhaustion talent when you do this. I don't know how that would apply to the situation, so
yeah.
Probably not going to.
Yeah, I don't think it really does. So
Okay.
I will just leave it as it is.
Okay, that's fine. All right, I'll roll, and you'll roll, and we'll see what happens. Ooh.
Oof.
All right,
I
so
got
pain's
6.
dominating.
So, but you have 1, 2, 3 successes. You have 3 successes, so you have 3 degrees of success.
Cool.
However, pain is dominant. So, well, I will let you say where exactly and whether anyone else is around when you trip and hit your head.
All right. Yeah. Let's say that I trip. Basically. Let's say that I trip. As I'm going out into the hallway, like someone's left something on the floor that I didn't expect. And nobody else is around.
Excellent. Now, since pain is dominant, I get to color the results.
Sure.
You tripped on a child's toy. A blue plastic shovel. And you're going to have a nasty bump on the head. You're going to have a big old bruise.
Okay.
All right. Excellent.
Cool. And then you get one thing
pain.
for the... Yeah.
Whenever pain dominates, we put one of these into the black bowl. So that is a coin of despair. So we have one despair token that I can use to change dice rolls later. Okay. We will come back to exactly what happens next with Jonathan. But we are going to jump over to Ren. Ren. Limber up.
Yep.
You just gained the power of Dungeon Master for a moment. Because you get to say what just happened to you. I will request that at the end of this moment, you fall asleep. Okay.
So Ren has been scouring the unfamiliar streets of the Mad City looking for a place called Mirfaron, the Dark School. So she heard from another Awoken that there were rumors that Jophiel was there. And they suggested that she seek them out there. And all of her energy, all of her focus has been hell-bent on finding Jophiel and figuring out how to close the doors. So she is walking as quickly through these unfamiliar streets as she can when all of a sudden the sky opens up and it starts pouring. And
she is not in the Mad City at the moment.
Oh, she's not in the Mad City yet.
Right. I'm just clarifying. That's fine, though, because it is actually quite easy to accidentally travel between the Mad City and the real world. Or the regular world.
Has she never been to the Mad City before at this point?
She has been there once. I want you guys, in order to skip over the whole, like, this can't really be happening thing, I want you guys to have been there once, but, you know, I think, let's say, it's fine. Let's say that, you know what? You have the GM powers. I'm gonna shut up. Take it away.
The nightmares are gonna eat my face, aren't they? All right. Well, so she, as the rain starts pouring, she tries to quicken her pace and tries to duck under awnings, and her heart rate is just picking up, and she's trying to pick, her way around puddles that are accumulating in the streets.
Because water reminds her of her disturbing phobia.
Yes. Water, it's not even that water reminds her of Lagos. Water reminds her of what's underneath. And the potential for her to go back there. Because as far as she's concerned, any of these terrible open doors could lead her back to that place and that reality. And so she tries to pick up her pace, and all of a sudden she sees a large, deep puddle have its surface be broken by a blue children's shovel. And the ripples that emanate from it hypnotize her. And all of a sudden, everything just goes black for her.
So she is running along. She's trying to escape the touch of the rain.
Yes.
And she sees this blue plastic shovel in a puddle.
Yes.
And immediately loses consciousness.
Yes.
Okay. Ren, you feel something tugging at your mind. Trying to push you. Take you away or do something. I'm going to roll 1 pain. So, you can use your 3 white dice, which automatically, which are your discipline. Which you have for being one of the awake. And then you also can increase your exhaustion by 1 for free. If you wish to add that, which are your black dice. And then you can also roll any number of madness dice if you want to throw that into the mix.
I will roll my discipline plus 1 exhaustion.
Alright, I am being told that there is a issue where Lindsay's really loud and I'm really quiet, so...
Oh no.
I am turning Lindsay's volume somewhat down. Actually, I wonder... I'm going to turn Lindsay's volume down 10%, so... Yeah, hopefully that fixes it. Alright. So how many dice are you rolling?
I rolled my 3 discipline
rolled.
And my 1 exhaustion. Yep.
Got it. I got 1 success. You got 2 successes.
Yep.
The highest number is a 6 on discipline. Congratulations. Discipline dominates. So you have pretty much complete control over exactly where and how this happens.
Okay. I'm going to say that this alley is not very frequented by the rest of the denizens of the Mad City in this area. And so it's a very low trafficked area.
Mm-hmm.
And I remain undiscovered for good or ill for a period of time.
Okay.
And now do I mark 1 exhaustion?
So it just so happens, why is this location so hard to smell you for the nightmares, the inhabitants of the Mad City?
I do not know.
Well, you were hunting someone. Someone you thought could help you. Maybe there's a protector.
Maybe another person, maybe another awoken found me.
Oh. Interesting.
So somebody else who, I mean, would also be concerned for themselves. Obviously, they wouldn't want nightmares swarming this area, trying to find me, because also they might find them. So maybe they stumble across me and
Okay.
move me or otherwise defend my location.
Okay. Interesting. All right. You both have broken the one rule. Don't fall asleep. Don't rest your head. By the way, let me know if listening to these same 5 songs that actually work starts to drive you mad in the real world. I won't stop me playing them, but at least I'll know you're going mad. Okay. Jonathan. Ren.
Yes.
Yes.
You remember the first time you went to the beach. You were just a kid, tiny in your swimsuit, which was full of sand. You were a little afraid of the great green water. And you loved to make sandcastles on the beach. You'd build up a pile of sand right here, and with a few bumps on the top, it made a castle wall. You piled some sand up on the corner, there. And perhaps you used a plastic bucket that seemed enormous. Now you had towers. You remember an odd moment. A strange gray moment in your memory as a cloud passed over the summer sun. You were alone, perhaps a friend of yours nearby, without your parents' watchful eyes for just 1 minute. A man was standing nearby, squinting down at you with pure black eyes from a grim, fat face, lined with heavy bags, as though he hadn't slept in 100 years. He was fat all over, from his sandy gray t-shirt to his swollen, sandy ankles. The smell of sweat came off him in a gust as the waves crashed thunderously on the sand. Deep green water. In the man's chubby fingers, he clutched a tiny blue plastic shovel, just like yours. Then he bent over. No, he rolled his bulk over and dug into the sand with his shovel. You looked over at where your parents had been standing. They're gone. And in their place are 2 holes in the sand, quickly filling with seawater. Your parents should be here, collecting shells. What would you guys like to do?
Are we together?
You are.
Like, do we see each other?
You were working on a sandcastle together. Two childhood friends at the beach, you suddenly realize.
Well, I would probably like to try to, you know what? I'd like to help the guy with his sandcastle.
He has started digging in yours.
Okay, like
I
is
say-
he
oh,
is
go
he
ahead.
adding to it, or is he like destroying it?
He is building on top of yours, covering it over in the process.
Hey, quit it!
He shifts his bulk slightly so that his mass with his sweaty gray shirt is between you and the castle and continues building.
I crane my neck around looking for my mom and dad, my lower lip trembling.
Looking around, you're surrounded by a gray mist. It's hard to see farther than 30 feet or so. There are broken seashells along the shore. There is this overgrown man. There's the sandcastle. There's your friend. And you can't see anything else. It's like you're in the middle of a moving circle of visibility. Because of this gray fog.
So I remember that my parents were walking with my childhood dog, and I call, Annie, come get this man! And I listen for any sound of distant barking.
Okay. Something approaches from one side. It's vaguely dog-shaped, but it's as tall as a house, looming through the mist. Its eyes glow, and it does not seem friendly.
Now, just to confirm, does it only have 2 eyes?
I was about to mention. It has far more than 2. It is literally covered in eyes that you can begin to see as it thumps over the sand closer. Do you want to stay here?
No, I shriek and run.
Yeah, I think it's time to run.
You guys are running in the opposite direction?
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Don't want to mess with the house-sized dog.
I am going to be rolling 2 pain to see if you can get away. Who, I guess it would be Ren is taking the lead on this.
That seems fair.
Since she is the one who called it, and she is the one who reacts and runs. So I will be rolling 2 pain, so you can choose how to roll.
So just to confirm, so I can add madness to this.
You can.
And my exhaustion. Okay.
Yeah. So when you add exhaustion, you're adding 1 permanent exhaustion.
Got it.
When you add madness, it's only for the 1 roll.
Okay.
So like you've already got 1 exhaustion, though I guess you could have removed it since discipline was dominant for your last roll.
Okay.
That's true.
Oh,
when
got it.
discipline dominates,
Okay.
you get a bonus.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna try roll. I'm very scared of this, so I'm gonna try rolling 3 madness and 3 discipline. And you can tell me if that's crazy.
Okay. Are you utilizing your madness talent in any way? Or what is the madness element here?
Am I able to use them interchangeably the way I use exhaustion?
Interchangeably?
Sorry, so I thought you guys... sorry. So I thought that I could roll... I'll roll my discipline, my 3, and then I could either choose to roll with my exhaustion dice or my madness die. Is that not correct?
No, you have to choose before you roll exactly what you're rolling. Did you increase your exhaustion before?
Well, I did use 1 exhaustion die, but
okay. So madness and exhaustion work differently.
Okay.
So you can throw madness are insane. You can throw any number of them from 0 to 6 on any roll for any supernatural reason. Okay? Exhaustion is a little more terrestrial. You have a current exhaustion rating on your character sheet from 0 to 6. It starts at 0. And you in order to use your exhaustion talent, you must it applies those exhaustion dice.
Got it.
Now, and when you use your exhaustion talent, you can do special stuff with your exhaustion dice. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So, however, once you start becoming exhausted, you always roll the exhaustion dice. Because normally falling asleep is worse than death. So, and if exhaustion dominates, that's bad. So, generally speaking. So in other words, if you want to, you willingly increase your exhaustion before, I believe, which is how you rolled 1 exhaustion die. It's a good idea to have 1 exhaustion because that kind of lets you. Remember, your exhaustion talent lets you do stuff with your exhaustion dice.
Right.
So if you want to use your exhaustion talent, you kind of need exhaustion dice to exist in order to use it properly. In order to have options available. But when you used it, you can. When you willingly increase your exhaustion, you can do a major use of your exhaustion talent. So you had that opportunity, but we're going to say that happened because you rolled exhaustion dice. So now you have one exhaustion, and you must roll at least one black dice.
Okay.
With every roll. So you must roll your discipline dice. You want to roll your discipline dice because those are only positive, and then one black die, and then so now you can roll just those against the 2 pain that I'm rolling. You can make a minor use of your exhaustion talent if you can figure out how it applies to this situation, which will trigger something with your 1 exhaustion die. You can willingly increase your current exhaustion in order to trigger a major use of your exhaustion talent and get more black dice. And you can also throw as much madness into this situation as you want. But this is all narrative based. So describe to me what you want to do, and I'll tell you what to roll if any of that is confusing.
Well, I think my exhaustion talent may apply, because I think what I would say is, she's relying on her quote-unquote memory of this situation of, I came through the parking lot and I walked down the boardwalk and here I am in the square beach. So she's trying to navigate, back to, let's say, the boardwalk, or basically away from the water, away from this, where she thinks there's going to be people. But I don't know if memory really applies to this situation, because this sounds like, even though this is a childhood memory, it's really a dream of a childhood memory. So I don't know that I really could use my talent, per se, my exhaustion talent.
In order to say that you remember, like, a path that'll get you away from the dog, the eye dog, is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay. That is probably a major use of your exhaustion talent if you want to increase your exhaustion. Is that what you want to do?
Yeah, let's go for broke. Let's do it.
You're going for broke. Okay. Really don't want to lose this roll. Got it.
Nope.
Interesting. Okay. So increase your current exhaustion by 1. So add 1 extra black die to the roll forever.
Right.
Unless discipline dominates again. And you're going to get 2 automatic successes. You're going to add your current exhaustion level to the number of successes on the roll. So you're going to get 2 automatic. So you're taking a big loss in order to get a big reward. And making things dangerous for yourself in future. So, if that's all you're throwing, I'm not hearing anything supernatural out of that, so I don't think any madness dice need to be rolled. No. So go ahead and roll those 5 dice, and I will roll the 2 pain. Ooh. Oh, I got 2 successes. So that worked out pretty well for you, because you just got to add 2 to your 2. Wow, that went really well for you.
Can you explain that to me? Yeah, I can add 2 to my 2.
So when you willingly increase your exhaustion on purpose like that,
right? You said I get the 2 successes out of that.
You get 2 bonus successes to the roll. You get your current exhaustion level as a bonus to the roll. So remember, 1s, 2s, and 3s are successes. You with me so far?
Yep.
So you rolled a 2 and a 2 and a 3, 3 and a 2, right? You so that's 2, and then since you increased, you went up from 1 exhaustion to 2 exhaustion, which you should mark on your sheet or record it in some way.
Yes, I did. Yep.
You get 2 successes extra on this roll.
Got it. Okay.
So you actually have 4 successes, which is really good because you and I were tied on successes.
Do ties go to the DM?
No, ties go to you, but look what I have here.
So you could have pulled from that. I
could have literally changed one of your success. I can literally spend this to change one of your successes to a fail.
Got it.
But that was no longer... See, if you hadn't done that, I could have spent this. You get caught by the eye dog.
No bueno. Okay.
Right?
Cool.
You following what's happening now?
Yes.
Okay. So you actually, by doing that, pushed yourself past the point where I can make you fail. Well done.
Living the dream.
However, hang on. Don't take the dice away yet, because those were both 4s. So, the highest die roll on the in all of the rolls on the table. This was a 2. The highest die roll on the table in any pool is that makes that pool dominant. Okay, so you see you rolled a 4 here and a 4 here, but it's risk rules for this. So 4, then we go to it's tie, and then it's the next dice down. So then 3, but then this has a 4. So exhaustion is dominant, which means your exhaustion increases unwillingly.
Got it. By 1.
By 1. So we have just started the game, and your exhaustion is already at 3. So that means you will be rolling 3 black dice on every roll, no matter what.
Cool. I feel good about that.
Great. So you can see how that makes it more likely that exhaustion will continue to dominate.
Yes, got it.
All right. That also colors the results. So, you remember how you got here. You remember, with your incredible eidetic memory, you remember the exact path that will get you away from the eye dog. However, exhaustion. You also remember that there were these sandy bluffs that you had to climb down and through on stairs and whatnot in order to get to the beach from the parking lot. And as the two of you run up these very steep rises and lose the bounding dog covered in glowing eyes. Oh, Ren, your little legs, you're weary. It's hard to keep up. You get more tired. You're panting. However, due to your sprint over the sand, the two of you can no longer see either the fat man digging over your sandcastle or the giant dog that responded to Ren's call. And that is a source of relief to you. There are a number of shells here, similar to the ones both your parents liked to collect. just above the waterline. Reminds you of the question, where are your parents? You can still barely see past a short distance due to the gray fog, but you're still together. It's wet on your skin. At least you're away from the smell of unwashed man and sweat.
Mm-hmm. Well, I definitely want to go look for our parents at this point. Still in a direction away from the eye dog. But yeah, I'm wanting to look probably more towards, or more like away from the shoreline. Thinking, maybe they went like back towards where the car was or something like that.
As you've been heading in that direction, the bluffs have been getting steeper and more difficult. And it seems like it will quickly become a very difficult direction to go. But not impossible. And after all, in the other direction is the greenish ocean.
Well, given how steep these bluffs are, maybe we should go check by the waterline at least first, because we wouldn't want to have to come back down this way.
That sand's easier to walk on. Let's go down there.
All right, so yeah, let's investigate by the shore.
Loving the voice, by the way, Lindsay.
Yes.
You're welcome. And to be very clear, Ren is walking on the side that's closer to the shoreline, and she lets Jonathan walk close to the water.
Okay. When you approach the crashing waves, traveling up the beach in a chaotic mess of foam, you see adult-sized footprints, several sets of them, visible in the sand, just past the waves. They are
go
partially
ahead.
full of seawater. Go ahead.
She calls out, "Mom, Dad!"
Does she hear any response? Does she even hear like any seagulls, like any other people, any sign of life other than?
No,
Yeah.
there are the shells, and there's some seaweed at the shoreline. Seaweed at the shoreline, and what else? When she calls out, oh, the sound of your own voice, Ren. It's slightly muffled in that strange way that fog affects sound. Jonathan, you immediately notice a color change in the footprints up ahead as Lindsay is lifting up her face to call out. But there's no other response.
A color change?
Yep.
Like the color of the water? You said they were, because you said they were filled with seaweed. Or sorry, seawater.
That's correct.
What color is it changing to?
Do you want to get closer to check it out? It just looks weird.
I do.
Okay. It's red. The footprints that were full of seawater are now full of blood. Something is very wrong.
Yeah.
I'll be rolling one pain
Okay.
as a feeling of panic begins to wash over you.
All right. I'm not going to add anything to it. I'm just going
All
to
right.
continue to roll my 1 exhaustion.
I got 1 success. You got a 1 there?
Yep.
All right.
So I got 3 successes, and
Very nice.
discipline is dominating.
Discipline is dominating. Things stay under control. So you don't have to remove a response check mark, but you can decrease your exhaustion by 1 if you wish.
I will go ahead and do that.
Oh, okay. Down to 0 exhaustion.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, you control yourself, Jonathan, in a very adult kind of way. You don't feel, you aren't going to lose it because of the seawater changing to blood in the parents' footprints.
So, yeah, I'm just going to look to Ren and I'm just going to say, maybe we should get further away from the water.
As you turn back to her, you notice she's like pouting, and she picked up one of the shells, and she's like, "Well,
Yeah, okay. I don't like being by the water anyway, but where are they?
This shell, smooth on one side, ridged on the other. It's cracked and broken. Imperfect. You're pretty sure your parents only wanted to collect whole shells.
I'd chuck it into the surf and walk towards Jonathan.
Okay. You guys continue on. Or at least, you catch up with him.
Mm-hmm. And the footprints, did you say that they were going into the surf?
Along the edge of the surf, in the direction away from the Sandcastle that you've already been walking.
Okay. Then yeah, I think we should continue to follow the footprints, but I'm keeping a bit more distance from the shoreline this time. I want to continue to be able to see the footprints, but I'm not like following right alongside them.
Got it. You walk along in that manner for a few... Or are you following along as well, Rin?
Yes, yeah. She's flagging a little bit behind Jonathan. She's pretty tired, and like you said, she's got short little legs. But she is following to the best of her ability.
Okay. Excuse me a moment. The footprints come to an end at a very large, perfect seashell lying on the sand. However, standing between you and the shell is a shadow. A child-sized shadow of a person. It's hard to tell which way they're facing, but it's almost as if they are staring down at the large, perfect seashell.
When you say shadow, do you mean like a shadow on the ground or like a silhouette of a person or that's, upright? Can you...
In that dreamlike way where things are hard to... They can be multiple things at once and break the laws of vision or physics. It seems almost to change whether it's a three-dimensional, like see-through person, or like a two-dimensional shadow on the ground, depending on what angle you look at it.
I want to look to see, are both of our shadows still attached to us? Can we see our own shadows?
You don't really have much of a shadow. It's foggy. The light is gray and dim, and it's kind of, the light is kind of scattered. Soft lighting, not much of a shadow at all.
Okay. I'm going to shout at the shadow, and I'm just going to say, "Hey, you're not supposed to be by yourself."
Are you trying to accomplish anything in particular, or just yelling it?
Mostly trying to, get it to pay attention to us, maybe go away. I don't know.
There's something that you know how a child, that's angry, gets this kind of sullen posture with their head down and their shoulders tense.
Mm-hmm.
The shadow adopts such a stance between you and where the footprints end.
Okay, I'm gonna press on, and I'm just gonna say, go find the person you're supposed to be attached to, trying to get it to go away.
Okay, it does not go away. You know what? Yeah, and as you get close, it's gonna try to slip underneath you. I'll be rolling 3 pain. What do you want to do?
All right. Yeah. Three pain is kind of a lot. So I'm going to add 3 madness. And basically, I'm gonna as it's approaching, I'm gonna kind of like step back a little bit to where Ren can't see me, and then as I do that, I'm gonna start moving kind of unnaturally quickly, since I don't think anybody can see me right now, and so I'm gonna try to like sidestep this thing and try to make it so it can't catch me.
So you're kind of trying to take on an aspect of an angel out of Ren's line of sight because you think she's looking at the shadow. And
Sorry. Yeah.
Couldn't you hear me?
Yeah, you just cut out for one word, but I got it.
Okay. She's kind of at you. Looking at the shadow. You're out of her line of sight, you think. And so you're going to try to move with this incredible quickness of 3 madness. As long as no one's looking at you.
Right.
Interesting. Are you going to be using your exhaustion at all?
I will not.
Okay.
Oh, nice. Oh, boy.
I think I have a leaner.
I think you do.
I'll re-roll that one. Okay. Let's see here.
Well, I got 6 successes.
Oh my gosh, you rolled all successes. You have 4 degrees of success over me. Wow.
But pain dominates.
But pain dominates. Oh my gosh. That's an insane number of successes. Yeah, okay. I'm not gonna...
Hashtag Corey rolls.
Right? I'm gonna try not to do anything about that. So I'm just gonna take my coin, bank it, and you get to narrate exactly how this works out, except I will then color the results with pain.
Right. So it's basically trying to slip underneath me.
The shadow is, yes.
Yeah, and so basically I'm just going to be like probably really frustrating it because like every time it gets close, I'm just suddenly not where it thinks I was.
So you just like it darts toward you and you jump to the side, and it darts toward you and you jump back. And with
and like Ren is even probably having a hard time keeping up with keeping up with this. Like she's trying to look around and trying to follow the motion, but she can't quite keep up with where I'm at until finally I end up next to the shell and I pick it up.
Okay. When you do so, the shadow vanishes with a child's screech of frustration and anger. And this makes your ears ring. But worse than that, Ren's baffled, head has been turning from side to side. She looks over straight at you. And after all of this fast movement, all of a sudden you're forced to freeze. Stock still in an instant. And you just feel it ache all through. Every muscle burns. Like you used too much energy. You pushed it too hard or something, and then had to stop. Like tires that came to a screeching halt. You feel like tires that have left a black trail from the brakes being slammed. And the shadow having vanished, reappears and tries to slip under Rin, coming at you from the opposite direction.
Sorry, you cut out. Did you say coming at Jonathan,
It's
or
coming at
Ren?
Ren
Okay.
from the opposite direction. So I'm going to roll 3 pain against you.
Ooh, okay.
Now you have your 3 basic dice and your 3 exhaustion that you have to roll. You may add dice to that, or you can keep it at that if you wish.
I'm gonna keep it at this.
All right, what are you going to do?
Well, I think she is going to try to run for a greater shadow.
Interesting.
She's going to try to duck under the boardwalk, let's say, where there is no light, or where there's no. It's just shade, and she thinks maybe that will make the shadow disappear,
Maybe
or be absorbed by the
yeah.
larger shadow.
Okay.
In that
Okay.
dream logic kind of way.
Well, there's no boardwalk here, but there is possibly a darker hollow under the bluffs, or in a sand dune.
Okay.
So she can definitely run for that before the shadow slips underneath her, the child's shadow. All right, let's see how that goes.
Oh man.
You have to click away in order to select a single die. In order to re-roll your... Oh, there you go. That works.
Yeah, I did not do well.
Okay. So you are going to fail.
Yep.
And discipline will be dominant, which is nice.
Does that let me clear an exhaustion?
But you only... Jonathan succeeded by, like, 4.
Yep.
You are only failing by 1. I'm going to spend 1 coin of despair. Yeah, I'm gonna spend 1 coin of despair. In order to make it... Oh no, I'd have to spend 2. You got 2 5s and then a 4. That would be quite an... You know what? I'm not going to change the results. I'll let them be. Alright. So you're going to fail, but in a disciplined way. I'm still banking that despair. Okay, so when discipline dominates... Well, we'll come to that in a second. So here's what happens. You run for this shadow and leap. And just before you get there, this child's shadow darts underneath you. However, just at that same moment, Jonathan is picking up the perfect seashell and holding it up in the air. Wonder. And the ocean changes color. It becomes blood red, like the footprints. The whole greenish, bluish ocean that you can see through the fog becomes blood red, changing the light and giving everything a disturbing tint. The shadow sticks right to you. And when you fall into the larger shadow, it disappears. But when you are not in a shadow dark enough to cover it up, your shadow looks messed up. And it calls attention to you. So, whenever something is, could go after either one of you, unless you are in a dark shadow, it will always choose you, Ren.
Okay.
It feels strange to have this child's shadow. We'll come back to that. However, you managed to dive into this other shadow and figure this out, even and kind of kept a level head while all that was going on. So this lets you clear a box, which you don't have any filled boxes or checked boxes, or lose 1 point of exhaustion. Would you like to do so? Lindsay, can you hear me?
Oh, I'm so sorry. I forgot to hit push to talk.
Oh.
Yes, I heard you, and I did remove a point of exhaustion because that
okay.
seems like it's in my best interest.
Sure. So you're down to 2 exhaustion?
Yes, I am.
Congratulations. That was a great roll. And would have been very expensive for me to ruin it, so I'm saving these despair coins.
Do those carry over in between sessions?
I believe so. I'd have to check. But so does hope, if that's the case.
Got it.
All right. The shell, Jonathan, that you're holding is strangely heavy. And while holding it, you can remember what really happened at the beach, which is none of this crazy stuff. And as the ocean turns red, you realize or you begin to wonder I should say. Since your parents never left you alone at the beach in real life, you wonder if they would still be there if you went back to where you were supposed to be.
Hey, Ren, are you okay?
I don't really know. My shadow is really weird, and I want my parents.
Okay. Well, we might find... this sounds weird, but we might find them if we go back the way we came.
Wait, you want to go back with the crazy big dog and the weird smelly guy?
Well, this is kind of a dead end. And I sort of got this hunch after I picked up the shell that they definitely would have wanted. So I think I know it's a little dangerous, but I think it's our best option.
All right, but what are we gonna do? How are we gonna get around that weird guy?
Well, I mean, all he was doing was messing with our sandcastle, so maybe he'll leave us alone.
Okay, but if I see that weird dog, I'm running.
Okay, that seems fair. That dog was pretty big.
And we head back the way we came.
All right. There's no evidence of the dog, but for a very large footprint. But the man is still there, working on the Sandcastle. He's got buildings and streets as he digs with the plastic tools. And he is facing away from you as you approach. But you do notice something moving among the sand towers and buildings.
All right. I'm going to walk up closer to him. And I'm just gonna say, excuse me, mister. Do you know where our parents are?
The bulk of the man ripples and shifts as he looks over his shoulder at you. Where is the seashell at this point?
I'm still holding it.
You're just holding it in both hands?
Mm-hmm.
He suddenly changes his expression. Jumps backwards. Jumps up and jumps away from you. Or backs away from you. Waving his fat arms. He looks like he's trying to stomp at something in the sandcastle. Whatever it was that you saw moving. And he's staring in fear at the shell. Ah!
If you tell us where our parents are, then I'll take the shell away. If you don't like it.
He redoubles his efforts at stomping in the sand.
Now, Max, how big is this structure that he's made? Is this about the same size as our sandcastle?
Oh, it's
or
bigger.
Is this...
It's bigger. It's a pretty extensive sandcastle.
So, Ren kind of cranes her neck and looks over the closest, building. Like, just try to get a closer look at whatever is moving.
It's incredibly detailed, the sand structures. And it looks like modern buildings. With streets and pavement kind of just carved into the fine sand. And you see some tiny figures running and crawling around like tiny people. They look a little familiar.
I reach towards them.
The man lets out an inhuman roar and waves his toy shovel, spewing sand that whips at you like bullets.
She covers
as you reach
her,
for
her
your
eyes.
parents. Okay. I am going to ask you both to roll against 8 pain.
Oh, man.
Actually, yes, you will be doing this individually.
Okay, I'm going to use some madness on this one.
Yeah, me too. You know what? I'm gonna go crazy. I'm gonna use the full 6 madness,
Holy cannoli.
and I'm gonna say that I'm assuming that he's still looking at us.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I'm turning into a statue.
You're going to turn into a statue and try to be invulnerable to the blast of sand.
Yep.
Interesting.
Do you want to go first, or should I declare what I'm doing and we roll together?
Let's do it. Let's do it separately. All right. So, you didn't throw any exhaustion at that, just madness.
I did not. I just threw madness.
Okay.
So, all right, I've got looks like 4 successes.
I have 5.
All right.
But you have a 6.
I do.
I'm going to change that 6 by spending 1 despair. The despair becomes a hope. The which we will go over in a moment because you guys will be able to spend the hope. But I'm going to change that 6. I think I can change it to whatever I want.
The thing, or the short version, just says that you can add a 6 to any pool.
Oh, really?
Add or remove. Or remove. So yeah, you could just remove the 6.
Yeah, I'm just going to remove that 6.
Okay.
So, negated. Which means that pain will dominate. But I don't get a coin back from spending a coin.
Right.
Okay. So you will fail, and pain will dominate. Yes?
Yep.
Great. We'll come back to what that means in a moment. Lindsay,
Yes.
rolling against 8 pain as
Yep.
the air howls with this blast of sand strong enough to rip skin and flesh from bone.
Yes. So what I would like to do, I'd like to roll for madness, and what I'd like to do is cause the water from the tide to sweep over him.
Ooh. So all of a sudden, the tide comes in and interrupts what he's doing. I think that sounds pretty reasonable for 4 dice. Yeah. Alright. Let's do it. And just the 2 exhaustion that you have? Alright.
Yes.
Not doing any other exhaustion stuff. Okay. If you mouse over it while they're selected, it'll also display a list of...
Oh, your full
numbers you
title, I
rolled.
see.
So I have 6 highest and 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 5 successes on pain.
So I have 4. And you have the high.
You don't have any 6s?
I do not.
Okay. Excellent. You fail, and pain dominates.
Now, quick question for you. So you said that there was 1 in the hope pool. Does that mean I
This-
can negate that 6?
I'm declaring that yours and Corey's rolls were simultaneous. So the coin doesn't actually enter until this is resolved.
I see. Okay.
The sand clears. The Sandcastle man is gone, as is his construction. In its place is a large, dark hole, quickly filling with the red seawater. And then you both wake up from the dream. You're bloody. There are tiny cuts all over your body, as though you'd been tortured. And it's very difficult to remember why. And that's where we're going to take a 5-minute break. We will be right back, folks. I hope this has been fun so far.
Yeah, this is awesome.
Good.
I foresee some nightmares in my immediate future. Thank you.
Oh, you mean like in real life?
Yes.
Oh, good. Oh, goody. All right, guys. We'll be back in 5 minutes, and we will continue this horror show. All right. See you.
I'm back when you guys are ready.
And we're back. All right. I do apologize for the music. It's just... I hate not having it more than I hate repeating it. So, I don't know. Survive. Okay. You have awakened, covered in tiny cuts, in addition to everything else that's going on. You're bleeding all over. You're fuzzy. And on top of that, you know how sometimes you fall asleep or you take a nap during the day and it doesn't do you any good? You're just as tired when you wake up as though you hadn't slept at all.
Yep.
Yep.
That's how you both feel. Because, I will note, one of you smashed their head on the floor, and the other one essentially blacked out when they saw a plastic shovel. So neither of you really went to sleep. Which is good.
Sort of.
That's why I said it in
Evidence would point to otherwise, but
Who wants to take on the next scene?
I will.
All right.
I'm
You come
trying to
to.
get out of here.
You have a huge bruise. It's the half of your forehead is swollen. The right side of your forehead is swollen up and tender. You can actually feel it pressing against the linoleum floor. And I'm just going to adjust my microphone slightly. And you're bleeding into your lab coat from all these tiny cuts all over your body. And in addition to the lump on your face, There's a hefty lump in your inside, in the front pocket of your coat. There's a large shell, a large fan-shaped seashell in there. That definitely wasn't there before.
Yeah.
But you remember it as something maybe on your coffee table at home. Or you've had around the house or apartment for several years. Family keepsake.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna put that back in my pocket for now.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to get back to my immediate concern of getting out of the building.
You push yourself up. All the lights come on. There's a clump of footsteps down the hallway, just around the corner. Dress shoes.
Alright, I'm gonna try to get back on my feet.
You push yourself somewhat woozily upright, leaving a smudge, pink smudge on the floor. And your colleague, Dr. Rob, rounds the corner, immediately reacting with shock and surprise at your appearance. What the hell happened to you, man?
I tripped on something when the lights went out.
You tripped on something? He looks you up and down. You're bleeding, dude. You need to go to the hospital or something.
Yeah, I need to get out of here.
Do you need a driver?
No, I've got it. Don't worry about me. Thank you, though.
All right. He looks back down at the iPad he's carrying.
All right.
He says, "I'll let Linda know you're out."
Thanks. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you'll probably need stitches.
Yeah, probably. But I don't know. It looks worse than it feels.
Sure. Take care of yourself, Jonathan.
Will do, Rob.
He looks slightly offended you didn't say doctor.
What's that?
He looks slightly offended that you didn't say doctor.
Oh, well. Whatever. I'm woozy right now.
All right. There are several more awkward conversations as you continue walking around. Where do you go? What do you do?
I'm heading towards the exit of the building. I definitely want to leave. I want to get in my car.
You have to badge out of the lab.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone is giving you really weird looks, saying, "What the hell happened?"
Yeah, I'm just gonna basically try to shrug them off and just say long story, but I'm on my way out to deal with it.
They definitely ask a lot of awkward questions. It doesn't look like you just fell.
Yeah.
Maybe if
I
you
don't
fell
really.
into
Yeah,
a
I
pit of
don't.
razor blades.
Yeah, I don't really have a good answer. So I'm just gonna continue to try to blow it off and make it seem like or make it seem like it's not as big of a deal as it looks like. Even if they don't buy it, they'll buy me trying to play it off that way.
Okay. The various. There is the front desk person who you need to badge out with, and she makes a whole fuss about how people in the medical profession never take care of themselves or go to the doctor, and starts making arrangements to essentially have you escorted to the hospital.
Yeah,
This is going to be a problem.
Yeah, I'm trying to tell her this is really not necessary. I'm already on my way there right now. I don't need an escort. I can handle it, kind of thing.
If you're really going to
And
insist on shaking her, then it will be one pain.
okay, I'll go ahead and add 1 exhaustion to this.
Intentionally.
Yeah.
Okay. That allows you to make a major use of your talent as well, if you wish.
Yeah, so basically I don't know if this qualifies as a major use of my power, but basically, like, just because this is a topic that I would know a lot about, being in the medical profession, I would just kind of explain to her that, like, none of my injuries preclude me from being able to drive myself. I don't want to take anybody else off of whatever they're doing or whatever they're working on. I can take care of this, kind of thing.
So you're basically just going to be very forceful and insistent about it.
Yes.
Got it. Okay, that sounds great. I will roll 1 pain, and you're not using your talent.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Interesting. So I got 1 success. You got 1 success. I believe you guys win ties.
Yep.
Yep, it's meet or beat the GM's degree. However, exhaustion dominates.
Right.
Now, that will cause... This is a strain. Having this conversation, fighting her off, in a sense, trying to go it alone. It's a strain. It's a headache. It tires you out. So you will not only increase your exhaustion by 1, you're going to increase it another 1.
Right.
And you do win. I will mention now, just for anyone's sake, that you do have a coin of hope. So you get to the parking lot, you get in your car. Am I correct in that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you do have the power of narration right now, and I will just say what hope does. Is you may spend 1 coin of hope to remove 1 exhaustion. If you have, like, power over the scene, you can like catch your breath.
Mm-hmm.
Or to remove a check mark from fight or flight, or to add a 1 to a discipline pool. That's, maybe none of those are applicable to the moment, because maybe you want to bank it, but
Yeah.
that is what it does.
Yeah, I'm happy to hold on to it for now.
Okay. All right. Well, you make it to your car, you catch your breath, then what?
Then I'm probably gonna try to go find Ren, because I think it's safe for me to assume that she's probably the only other person I know who knows about the Mad City, and I want to talk to her about what I've found.
Interesting. And also, she was in the dream that or vision you just had.
Oh, well, I wasn't sure or how much of that I remember, but if I remember her being part of that, then definitely I want to talk to her about that too, make sure she's okay.
You remember it, but in that kind of dream way.
Okay.
Where it's more like you remember the impact of everything very strongly, but it's hard to put into words.
I remember she was there, but I don't remember the specifics.
Something like that, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Unless your hand chances to brush across the shell in your pocket. In which case, the memories come flooding back in a very painful clarity. Including, it's painful because there's a discrepancy between what really happened and what happened in the dream.
Right. Yeah, I would say that my hand probably brushed that because I would have been fishing in my pockets for my keys.
Mm-hmm. Very good. Very true. Okay. So how do you go about catching up with her?
I would probably start by trying to call her.
You have her number?
Well, maybe not. Maybe I don't.
You could probably find it out if you wanted to.
Yeah. Yeah, I would try to get her number. Try to see if I could call her. Maybe call the library, see if I could, or see if they would have her number for me to.
You know what that sounds like?
A roll?
Research.
Yes, it does.
So you call up and you sound a little unhinged. You can't help it. Not only have you been awake and got no benefit from sleeping just now for like 72 hours.
Mm-hmm.
You are covered in cuts, you're bruised, your mind is disturbed. The voices, the people you talk to on the phone, the other librarians, you can immediately hear in their tone that they are like, is this a stalker? Is this a crazy person? They are not going to give up her number easily. So this will be one pain.
Okay. I'm not going to add another die for a major use of my power, but I will make it a minor use since I've got at least 1 point. So my minimum number of successes will be 2.
Ah, okay. So did you catch how that works, Lindsay?
Yes, I did.
Cool. All right. So minor use of the talent. He has a floor of successes.
And it's a good thing I did too.
Nice. So you have, well, that's a 2. What was that? Did you tap that?
It was leaning. So
Okay.
it was a 6 or previously, if you would rather use that.
Well, now I don't know. Was it a leaner, or was it like pretty much going to be a 6 no matter what?
It was going to land on a 6, but it was touching one place.
Okay,
Yeah, I
so
thought
then
it
it
was
should
a
be a
6
then it
probably.
should be a 6.
All right, that's fine.
I don't know how to change that, but anyway.
I got it.
Okay. Okay. So again, you have to kind of just. I'm getting the sense that Jonathan has kind of this thing where he just kind of blusters through conversations and just like keeps insisting.
Yeah. That's starting to sound like him for sure.
So that's what he does. And again, it's exhausting. It tires you out. And it's becoming a strain very quickly to try and, like, convince people. You've dealt with this before, Jonathan. Whenever you've mentioned in your life your conspiracy theories, people immediately start to assume all kinds of things about you. Like these librarians are doing. Are you a serial killer? Are you stalking her? Are you a creep? Are you just like some kind of weirdo? Have you become obsessed with Ren, the librarian? What is going on? And you are just... It's so tiring to have to deal with this. And eventually, they do give you her contact number because she is meant to be at work and is supposed to be someone that can be called, like, to help people with research on the phone. So they give you that number.
That probably just frustrates me even more. Like they were supposed to give it to me, but instead they had to give me all this grief.
They give you a lot of grief. But you do believe that it does, when she's not at her desk, it does route to her cell phone. Or at least has a voicemail that she can check, at minimum.
Okay.
So, you have her number. But you are at 3 exhaustion.
Yeah. So, all right. Then once I've got her number, I'm going to try to call her.
And now we find out how cell reception works in the meds.
Yeah.
What is Ren's ringer? What is her ringtone?
The Harry Potter theme. Bum, ba-da-bum.
You wake up to this.
Oh. I reach a bleeding hand, shaking into my pocket, trying to find the source of this terrible noise.
It is somewhat incongruous with your current position. You are lying in an alleyway underneath a tall dumpster in a puddle.
She rolls out of the puddle impulsively with disgust.
You leave a trail of water and blood from the thousands of cuts all over your body. The cell phone, you reached into your pocket and silenced it?
Well, she pulls it out.
Okay, it buzzes in your hand, still playing the Harry Potter theme. And, you're looking around and you can see there's clear signs that you were dragged under the dumpster.
I think she comes to, cold realization of where she is, and she looks around frantically, trying to see if there's anybody watching who's been attracted by the sound or the.
There is a man in a trench coat with kind of greasy hair and big circles around his eyes, leaning against the wall at the end of the alleyway.
Does it seem like he's noticed me? Is his back to me?
He's thin, rail thin, almost skeletal. You can see every bone in his face. And when he sees you looking at him blearily, he gives you a nod and then walks out into the busy street. That's kind of a weak sunlight that filters down after rain. The phone is still ringing in your hand.
She realizes that the man was, clearly he was awoken and saved her life. So she breathes a sigh of relief and snaps open the phone and says, "Hello?"
The phone has been answered.
Hi, Ren. It's Jonathan.
Jonathan. Ugh. What's...
This might sound weird, but were you just having a dream?
Yeah, though this may not be the best time to talk about it. Why?
'Cause it was a dream about the beach, and I was there, and there was a weird, sweaty fat guy.
And all that sand.
Yeah, that. I had the same dream. I think we should meet up if we can.
Realizing we had the same dream, I tried to look around for my shadow, but realizing I'm not going to see it under this dumpster, which she's filled with horror at the prospect that might have really happened.
I thought you're still under the dumpster?
Yes.
Correct. You have no visible shadow at the moment.
Yes, we need to meet. Where are you?
I'm at the research center right now. Where are you?
Under a dumpster in the Mad City.
You went to what?
You're realizing since there's sunlight, you're no longer in the Mad City.
Oh wait, no, I'm just under a dumpster.
Okay. Sure. Do you know where you are? I've got my car. I can come pick you up.
Hang on. And she crawls out from under the dumpster and tries to find a street sign.
Gingerly, you walk to the end of the alleyway toward the busy street and realize there's something on the ground where the really thin man was standing. There's a white square of paper.
She snaps it up.
Okay. You are able to read a street sign from here, by the way, so you can tell him that. But the little white square turns out to be a matchbook with a logo on it. It's a little hard to make out exactly what it depicts artistically, but it says the mechanical moon.
Say that one more time, Max. You cut out.
God damn it. The mechanical moon. And it's a kind of a logo of like the orb of a moon, like under construction with like cranes and trucks and scaffolding, like building a moon.
Well, while I have Jonathan on the phone, I say to him, "Look, I'm at the corner of Oak and West. I'll wait here for you." And then she says goodbye and she opens the matchbox. Is there anything in there?
Yes. Roll a d6. It doesn't matter the color.
2.
There are 2 matches in there.
Yay. And they look like ordinary matches.
Yeah, the rest are ripped out.
She pulls out her cell phone. She tries to Google the mechanical moon. Didn't see that coming, did you?
There's a watch that comes up. Is this some kind of fancy watch?
Okay, well, she shrugs, puts it in her pocket, and she tries to find a nice, quiet, dry awning that she can wait under for Jonathan.
There's also a song by Fiction Park.
Good to know.
What about you, Jonathan?
I'm gonna rush over to try to pick her up. Because I imagine she wants to, get out of the elements when she just was sleeping under a dumpster. Apparently after having fallen asleep in the Mad City.
Okay. So you start heading that way. While waiting for him, is there anything in particular you want to do?
I think she's kind of inspecting all of these cuts all over her, trying to be, discreet about it, but, she's trying to determine, like, what made these? Were there little rat bites? Where somebody took a knife to her? Like, what's going on?
You do have... you're pretty sure it's from something that happened in the dream. And you remember the guy. And you know that he did something to you.
I remember that he also stole our parents, and I try to Facebook message my mom and just say, like, "Hey, Mom, how are you doing? Everything okay?"
She's not online.
Well, she doesn't love spending 2 hours on the phone with her mom, especially when she's waiting bloody in an open alley. So she's gonna call her later.
Okay. Or at least there's no answer to the Facebook message. As you're standing around, you do notice these drag marks leading under the dumpster from what appears to be the blank wall of an apartment building.
She goes to inspect them closer.
Okay. It's a concrete wall. Scratches and cracks here and there. dirt, but the drag marks lead right out from underneath it to the dumpster. And these drag marks are like blood and water.
Now, does she know, like, so I'm assuming the Mad City is not a perfect reflection of this city, so there could be,
Definitely
know,
imperfect.
yeah, so there could have been some opening or some walkway through there in the Mad City, and there's, a building there now.
Yes, indeed. Jonathan, when you arrive, you find that the two cross streets she gave you, Oak and West, are the nearby major streets, the signs that she could see. The alley itself has a street name, Beach Street. Not visible to Ren from within the alley, because the sign is just around the, attached to the building, just around the corner.
Okay.
Jonathan, you can pull over, and the two of you can now meet up.
Yeah, I'll pull over and just say, "Hey, do you need a ride?"
I take a look at him, and I'm like, huh, so, you're all fucked up too.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping you wouldn't be.
Any, like, Neosporin in there, maybe? I was just under a dumpster, and I'm covered in bite marks, or slash marks, or whatever this is.
Jonathan probably would have, like, a very basic first aid kit.
In his car, maybe?
Yeah.
I buy that.
So yeah, she slides into his, his front passenger seat and starts applying Neosporin everywhere and
So
says,
the 2 ounces of Neosporin
what
are woefully too little to cover.
She tries to make it stretch.
All right. Well, you disinfect some of the cuts. It burns. You both look like an absolute train wreck.
Yeah. I'm just gonna say, why don't we go back to my place? I've got a better first aid kit there, and honestly, I could use some patching up too.
I hope you've got a lot of coffee.
I can make some.
All right. Do you have a house or an apartment?
Probably an apartment.
Okay. So the two of you drive to Jonathan's apartment and kind of hole up. Start dressing your wounds. At least washing your cuts. You can take a shower.
Mm-hmm.
This is an opportunity to spend a coin of hope, if anybody wants to do so.
I think I'd like to. I'd like to get rid of 1 point of exhaustion.
Okay.
If it'll let me grab the one.
I'll do it.
Okay.
I would, but it's kind of trolling us. It's like it clicks in a different spot than you mouse over. Oh, God, Tabletop Simulator, why? Why are you like this?
All right. New plan. Let go of it.
You were gonna jump it? Yeah. What button is it to flip again?
Just right click and then flip as an option.
Oh yeah.
So does it go back in the despair? Or
No,
does
no,
it just
it goes back in this. That's how the economy of this works.
Okay. So, yeah, I'm getting rid of 1 level of exhaustion.
You take a shower. You put some ice on the bruise. And at least you're a little bit less exhausted. Okay. Is there, once you guys have kind of rested up a little bit, shared your memories, what else would you like to do?
Stare at my shadow.
If people hadn't been so distracted by the fact that you were covered in cuts, they would be staring at you because your shadow is moving of its own accord constantly. It is in the shape of a small boy, and it does not match your body at all.
Well, that's freaky as hell.
What is this? I mean, was that, maybe it wasn't a dream. Maybe it was another plane of existence, like the Mad City or Laguz.
I mean, if we both fell unconscious at the same time, one of us was in the Mad City. We both suffered the consequences of that dream. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how any of this works, but I think we need to find out. And there's one other thing. I think I might have found a cure for cancer.
What do you... all cancers?
I'm not entirely sure. I mean, I was studying breast cancer at the time, but my notes were not very clear, and the problem is that I don't remember making those notes. I just know that I did.
Well, where are these notes?
I've got them with me. And I'll pull them out of my now bloody lab coat.
Okay. When he does so, you can also see the shell. Did I cut out?
Yeah.
Yep.
What is going on? Okay. You can also see the shell poking out from his pocket.
What? Wait, was that from the dream?
Oh, yes, it is. And if you want to remember the dream in more detail, you might be able to if you touch it. I was able to, but it was kind of painful.
She does not want to touch it. She contemplates to herself that maybe this is a door, and she does not want anything to do with it.
Okay.
Well, I mean, how do we find out about this and what to do about this? I mean, do you think somebody else, one of the other Awoken, might know something about this?
I mean, it's possible. I don't know enough about the Mad City to know what I don't know. But I feel like if there are answers, then they'll probably be there. If we can find a library or something in the Mad City, then that might be able to answer our questions.
Wait, Jofiel might know what to do. Look, I was for a sage, a famous sage in the Mad City named Jophiel, who was supposed to know how to close portals, to close these doors. He's also supposed to know many things. Maybe he could help us. I was supposed to be looking for Merferon, the Dark School. Have you heard of it? He's supposed to be there.
I haven't, but that sounds like a good lead.
Well, I think we know what we must do.
Yeah. Now we just need to figure out how to get there.
She looks at Jonathan, expecting him to open the door.
Yeah, I'll walk over to the door. I'll look through the peephole.
There are two ugly faces peering closely at the peephole. Oi! Open up! Police! The two men are burly and broad, slightly unshaven, ugly. They are dressed in policemen's uniforms, but not modern policemen's uniforms. Like 17th century British constable. And there's something weird about the way they move.
Okay. I'm just going to, or I'm gonna make like a shooing motion towards Ren to indicate to her that like she probably shouldn't be here. And I'm just going to say to the door, yes, officers, what do you want?
Open up!
I'm sorry, can I see your badges through, or can you hold them up to the peephole?
We'd like to speak with you.
I start looking around for a fire escape.
There is a fire escape. It's a modern building.
Yeah, I'm just going to say, well, if you can show me your badges and proof that you actually are the police, I'd be happy to talk to you.
Don't make this more difficult than it has to be. Open up, or we'll break down the door.
Right. If you're not willing to confirm that you are the police, then I don't think I can open the door.
We're officers of the law.
All I'm asking is for you to show me that that's the case. And with that, I'm going to...
They look at each other with these jerky motions. And they are actually wearing badges, which they start looking down at.
Okay. Yeah, while they're doing that in their moment of confusion, I'm going to definitely, I'm going to make sure the deadbolt is locked. I'm going to, or if there's like a lock on the handle, I'll try to lock that too. Some apartments will have those double locks. And then I'm going to move away from the door, and I'm just going to say, I think we need to go, in a quiet voice to Ren.
She nods.
And I'll start making my way towards the fire escape.
Okay.
Making sure to get my lab notes and the seashell.
Okay, you grab both things. You head toward the balcony, which you slide open the door. and head to the fire escape. And that's when the door crashes as they smash their they kick it open.
Okay, time to go.
Who is trying to unlock the ladder, to drop down the ladder?
That's probably going to be me.
Okay. I'm going to ask you to roll
This is my building.
to do this as quickly as possible if you're trying to get away from these two strange policemen. Which,
Okay.
combined, between the two of them, they come to 3 pain.
All right.
I-
I don't. Go ahead.
Sorry, I have a quick rules question.
Yeah.
Is there any assisting in this game?
There can be in certain situations. When you assist, you get to add your discipline dice, and that's it. Those situations are pretty unusual. Right now, if you are standing there waiting for him to, figure out how to pull the bolt to drop the ladder, there's not much you can really do. Except look at these guys as they burst into the apartment.
Oof.
They are running
dang it.
for him at the moment, but they did just burst in. All right. Oh boy.
Yeah. Was not counting on you getting 3 successes.
3 successes on 3 dice. But discipline dominates. And it would... Ooh. But I could add a 6. I could add a 6. I'm gonna do that. So you're fiddling with the mechanism when these 2 officers just brush right past Ren, and they are on you. They are grabbing you and saying, "Stop! In the name of the law!" And they move with this weird, jerky kind of motion. And Ren, you can see as they, just bust past you, they each have this key, this key handle sticking out of their back, like a wind-up toy, through their clothing.
Huh.
And they are upon you, and they are grappling with you. And resist and arrest! Resist and arrest! Give up now! And they have these blackjacks that they start beating him with, and saying, "Give up now, and we will not be forced to." They pull out a manacle or handcuffs. We will not be forced to subdue you any further.
Now, as they're doing this, are those keys continuing to wind back down, sort of thing? You know what I mean?
They're
with
spinning.
a music
They're
box.
spinning slowly. They don't seem to be winding down exactly.
Can I try
they
to
are
grab one of the
sense.
keys and hold them stationary?
I'm adding a 6 to your exhaustion pool, Tori.
Okay.
You absolutely can.
Okay.
But then they will turn and try to arrest you. Because he was just trying to get away. Now you are actually physically trying to do something to them.
Now, I have a question for you.
Now you will have to roll against 3 pain in order to try to do that. Corey, Jonathan has basically been beaten to the ground, and they're putting handcuffs on him when she leaps into action.
Okay.
Are you able to use madness dice outside of the Mad City and outside of, like a dream contact?
Why don't you try it?
I think I will. I'm going to say that the rainstorm that came through here, that there is water, that it's slick, that she's trying to use that to her advantage.
How is that to her advantage?
Oh, well, hang on. Let me think about that.
You know what? It's madness, not exhaustion. You don't have to explain it yet.
Also, I keep on forgetting it doesn't need to be water-based.
It doesn't absolutely have to, but I like that you're going with it. Okay. Looks like I got 2 successes. And you got a bunch. Whoa. You got 4?
Yeah.
With discipline dominant?
That's pretty nuts.
Don't forget you also have a hope coin you can spend. Because I just wasted my despair on Corey.
Would there be an advantage to using it right now? I mean...
not particularly. I mean, I'll let you know if you need it.
Okay.
Wow. Okay. How many successes? What's your degree of success? I have 2. You have 4?
Yes, so 2.
Okay, you have GM powers for this scene. Go.
Yes. Okay, she grabs the key.
Don't forget to use the puddle. Don't forget to use the puddle.
The puddle. Yeah, how am I going to use the damn puddle? Okay, I'm going to say that she grabs the key of the constable who is trying to put the manacles on Jonathan. And the one that was continuing to club him slips and lands on his face.
Lands on his own face?
Yes.
Okay. So one of them she grabs and the
please
other
don't
one's-
have him land on my face.
So one of them she grabs the key, and the other one he slips and falls.
Yes.
Got it. Okay. So he actually, like, when she grabs the slowly turning key, which, by the way, he fights very hard to prevent her from doing so. They both do. But he freezes in place. Like, all of his internal mechanisms, ? Stopped turning. Stopped working.
I look at Jonathan and I go, Johnny, are you okay?
The other one that fell on his face, and there's like a loud cracking sound, and sparks fly out of his head, out of cracks that appear in his head. His policeman's helmet has a crack in it that also runs through his face, like it's one continuous thing. You get what I'm saying?
Yes. Like he's one big piece of plastic.
Right. Exactly. And he starts, like, getting up. You are straining. It is extremely hard. But you're doing it. You're bracing yourself against the railing. and gripping on the to the slowly turning key, and it's like all the force in your body, is straining. You're holding onto this key, preventing it from turning. As soon as you let it go, he'll be able to move again. And the other one is slowly getting up. However, Jonathan is not the whatchamacallit. I want to call them manacles, but the modern version.
Handcuffs?
Handcuffs, thank you. God, that was painful. The handcuffs are around only your left wrist. You are otherwise free to move now. But you're kind of in this moment where like she's straining, barely holding this one of them still, and the other one is like kind of like it's like getting up slowly out of the puddle.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. So Jonathan is going to
This is all on the balcony, by the way.
Yeah. This is a really bad situation. Jonathan is going to use his madness power, and he's going to get behind Ren, and he's going to basically try to with that kind of supernatural speed, he's going to try to like very quickly push the two constables off of the balcony. Like more through the force of his momentum than because he's not strong enough.
I guess they are both pretty much unable to defend themselves fully at the moment. But if this goes badly, it'll go very, very badly indeed.
Yeah.
So I'm still gonna roll 3 pain.
Okay. How many madness do you think that power usage qualifies for?
I think for like super speed, it's minimum 3.
Okay. I'll just add 2 dice then.
Okay.
Oh my god. 2 successes.
Well, I only got 1.
And madness is dominant.
Madness is dominant.
Yep. Ooh, man.
Well, this is an opportunity you might want to use a hope. Because otherwise, you will be checkboxing one of your responses.
So the point of hope, I thought I could just add a 1 to discipline, or remove an exhaustion, right?
Oh, is that right?
I think those are the 2 options.
Oh yeah, remove a check mark from fight or flight doesn't mean prevent a check mark from fight or flight.
Yeah.
Yep,
So
you're
I'll just
not
leave
getting
it.
out of this. Madness is a double-edged sword.
Yeah. So, all right. So basically, he's going to do his best to push the 2 constables, if he can, off the balcony. But he's not going to spend a whole lot of time or effort trying to do it. Like he's checking probably the flight box. He's basically just trying to create enough room for him and Ren to get away. And so if he can do anything to slow them down here on the balcony, then he's going to be bolting out the door.
Nice. So you just kind of rush them both as your supernatural power of quickness with no one actually looking at you, because Ren is looking at, the one she's restraining. You just shove them both off of the balcony. You don't even stop to look at what they are doing, but just turn and then run out the front door. Ren, he's gone. You can follow if you wish.
I look over the balcony to make sure the constables are like shattered on the ground.
Nope. They are kind of moving again and jerkily. They're broken. Yes, like their plastic casing cracked open, but they're kind of putting themselves back together.
Oh man. Okay, I am gonna follow him as quickly as I can. Do I even know where he went?
You hear his car starting.
Okay. Okay.
You've lost
so
control
I'm
of
going.
your character, by the way, Jonathan.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Oh,
damn,
man.
He keeps cutting me off in Discord. Anyway, keep going.
I mean, how many floors up am I?
What floor is Jonathan on? At least the second floor.
Yeah, I would say he's probably on that.
Okay, she's just taken the closest path down to the street. So if that's continuing down the fire escape, that's what she's going to do as
That's where
quickly
the
as she
two
can
guys
before
are.
these guys get back up. Okay, then she is going to run out his front door and try to go through the main entrance of the building.
All right. Well, he is gone.
Oh man.
He has just left you in the dust. He threw them off and then ran for his own life.
Sorry, Ren.
Oh,
You
man.
get out the front door of the apartment building. And, Ren, you're looking around, you see where his car was parked, and you see him in the car, turning the corner at the end of the street.
Oh shit. Well, this isn't really the day and age of hailing taxis, but Can I use... Well, let me think about this. Can I use madness to run very quickly and catch up to him?
If you want. People will certainly notice that.
Oh, I think at this point she's frantic. She's cut and bloody, being chased by two strange men, and as far as she's concerned, her only hope of getting out of this is Jonathan helping her find Jophiel. So, yeah, no, she's gonna go for it. How many madness dice does she have to roll?
To catch a moving car?
Well, this is a moving car in a very urban area, right?
not
So,
using your
but then again, I
madness.
don't know that he's obeying traffic signs.
Are you using your madness talent in some way?
Say that again, Max.
Are you using your madness talent in some way?
I think it would be hard for me to justify it.
Okay. Well,
let me ask you this. So is this,
roll 3.
like, how bad is the traffic out here, for instance? I mean, theoretically, I could bust a water main or something crazy like that to get traffic out of my way.
There's a medium amount of traffic. And there's people on the sidewalk. Going about their afternoon. I'm going to ask for at least 3 madness dice.
Okay, I will roll through madness.
Okay. Do you have any exhaustion?
I do.
Okay. You must
I've got-
roll it. Oh, I should have told you the pain that you were up against, which is 2. If I doubt that changes anything for you. Okay. Did you get a 6? Did you get a 6? Lindsay?
Oh, sorry. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Push to talk. Sorry. Yes, I did. Discipline was dominant.
Okay. What was it? You got a 642. And I got a 643 on pain. So pain is dominant. No, wait. I didn't roll this. It's only 2 dice. Never mind. Discipline is dominant. Can you not put the eyes on there? Because it blocks the dice, so I can't see them easily.
Sorry.
Okay. So you got a bunch of successes, and discipline is dominant. And when discipline is dominant, you can uncheck a box, I think, or remove an exhaustion if you wish. And of course, you're.
I'm gonna keep my 1 exhaustion.
You wouldn't know it, but your memory talent is coming into play here. As you run up to the car, you are finding the water in your blood, in your body, in your legs, is tugging you onward. You lean into it and rush past people who kind of lurch away from you or are perhaps knocked aside like bowling pins. It's very strange. There's a shadow that streaks behind you as well, like a running little boy.
I forgot about that.
Any of these people that see you again would certainly recognize you. You are able to catch up to the car, and you realize that he's not even looking at you. He is in a blind panic. Eyes wide. Pale. His face. Blood drained from it. He's turned the car into a cul-de-sac. A street with no exit. A dead end. And what's more, with your memory, this street wasn't here when you arrived at his apartment. And as you go running alongside the car, without him even slowing down or stopping, a cloud passes over the sun. You drive on, and even though you run, Ren, past the sign that reads dead end, the street actually continues. The buildings here are strange, tall, leaning in disrepair. And with the cloud over the sun, it appears dark and strange. You blink and realize that if you continue running down this dead end, you'll be in the Mad City.
So I pound on the window of Corey's car, or excuse me, Jonathan's car. And I said, Jonathan!
He screams and guns the engine, accelerating forward. With the water in your body pulling you on, you can actually keep pace for a short time more.
I follow him as quickly as I can.
Okay. And then the two of you are in the Mad City. The car eventually slows down as the panic recedes. Jonathan blinks, looks around. You were here once before, right around when your memories are fuzzy, right around when you had the breakthrough, the discovery. You're in the Mad City. Covered in sweat, panting, Ren is standing outside the car, banging on the window. And you can barely see her in the light coming from the glowing neon sign out front of the bar called the Mechanical Moon. There is also, instead of a streetlight, 3 eyeballs in a box. The eyes are green, yellow, and red. And also out in front of the bar is a somewhat horrifyingly, and this is what snaps you out of it, Jonathan, is the sight of this horrifyingly twisted person smoking a cigarette while leaning against a telephone pole outside of the bar, with tumors hanging off of their body. Like the personification of cancer. And just to complete the horrifying picture, instead of a hand holding the cigarette, there's a claw, like that of a crab.
Jeez.
You're both here. You're both alive. And you both gain a scar. So, to close out tonight's session, because I think this is probably going to be a 3-shot. a 3-session game. But we'll see how it goes. If you guys are up for it, that is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to use the only really advancement mechanic that exists in this game, which is getting a scar. You each get to decide what event from the session was most affecting to your character, I think is how we're going to do this. And you get to write that down under scars. Basically a single sentence, describing what happened on your character sheet. And then you'll be able to use that in a later session. You can kind of trigger your scars, which are really more emotional and mental scars. But I guess it could be physical.
Yeah, I think for Jonathan, it's definitely getting beaten by clockwork constables.
Ooh. Yeah. That makes sense. And you can trigger them to do things in a later session.
Cool.
Sound good?
Sounds good.
I'm choosing calling my childhood dog and then having a giant dog the size of a house respond. Covered in thousands.
Nice.
Makes sense.
All right. Well, we are about done for tonight. I think that is I feel like that's a really good place to stop. So
Yeah, that was
Sounds
awesome.
good.
I don't want to
Yeah.
I don't want to mess with that. I do want to give you guys a little bit of extra info about the Mad City. So, this is actually not the first time you've been in a location in the Mad City this session, because there is essentially you come to realize in that dream, how in dreams sometimes you'll know, like you'll be in your house but it's not your house, like you'll know things that there's no way you could know them.
Yes.
That's how the information is coming to you that I'm about to tell you. So there are realms kind of within the Mad City that are sectioned off and have their own rules. And those are ruled by powerful nightmares. And I'm trying to remember exactly. There's a special word for it that's really cool that I can't remember right now. They're like these special nightmare realms. And those were clockwork lieutenants, by the way.
Okay.
Anyway, there's these kingdoms. Oh, nowheres. That's what they're called. Ha! Found it. I believe. So, you were in a nowhere, a realm controlled by a powerful nightmare. Nightmares are these entities, these monsters. So you were in a realm controlled by a powerful nightmare called a nowhere. And having been to the city once before, the Mad City once before, you've never heard of or been to the Mechanical Moon, but that's certainly something Lindsay has a connection to, or Lindsay's character, rather.
Yeah.
And, but you have heard of the Bizarre Bazaar, which is essentially a place of exchange for nightmares, and where things like memories are bought and sold.
Interesting.
All right, guys. Any questions before we turn this off?
That was awesome, man.
Yeah, it was great.
Sweet. Oh, man. I'm so
Yeah.
glad to hear you say that.
Don't Rest Your Head is always a lot of fun.
You wouldn't believe how much more text I had that we didn't get into. But that was great. Yeah, that was a lot of fun for me, too. Alright, guys. Well, we are going to sign off, call it a night. Thank you, everyone who came by. Thank you to M. Thank you to the Twitch bots for coming by. Thank you to Taladar and Lion Nation who subscribed, Twitch Prime, and Rapscallion 101. Thank you. Thank you to anybody who watches this later. You're awesome. And thank you to my wonderful players. Corey, player of Jonathan, and Lindsay, player of Ren. You guys were both awesome. Really came up with some interesting characters, and I can't wait to see what horrifying things happen to them next.
Thank you guys.
Yeah,
We had a
that
lot of
was
fun.
great.
All right, we are turning off the stream, so bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. Bye, everyone.